going to discuss about another chapter related to chemistry, that is coal and petroleum. See, you know that in our day-to-day life we use so many materials. In order to carry out our daily activities, we require many substances. Some substances we get from the nature, and some substances they are alternative to natural substances. So materials which are available in nature, they are called natural substances. For example, air, water, soil, sunlight, they are examples for natural substances. Similarly, some materials they are artificially made. So artificially prepared substances they are called as man-made materials or synthetic materials. See, earlier, that is human beings, they actually obtained the required substances from the nature only. But as the time passed, due to increase in population, and another important thing is, for the formation of natural substances, the time required is more. So people started using alternative to natural substances. Such substances they are called as synthetic materials or man-made materials. For example, glass, plastics, porcelain, cement. These are, that is, substitute to natural materials. They are called as synthetic materials or man-made materials. Okay. And when we consider all the substances that we are using, some substances normally they are called as resources. So what is a resource? Resource or resources, nothing but materials that are available in plenty and that are useful for mankind. Such substances they are termed as resources. For example, air is a resource, water is a resource, soil is a resource, sunlight is a resource, minerals, they are also resources. So materials that are available in plenty and that are useful for mankind, they are called as resources. And some resources which are available in nature, they are present in plenty and they are not going to get exhausted. Similarly, there are some resources which are found in nature which are present in limited quantity, and after that is usage they are going to be get exhausted. See, based on that we have two types of resources. So resources which are available in nature, they are called as natural resources. So natural resources they are classified into two types. One is renewable or inexhaustible resources. So resources which are available in plenty, unlimited, and even after their usage they are not going to be get exhausted. Such resources are called as renewable or inexhaustible resources. They are actually going to be replenished in nature. So which are the examples for renewable or inexhaustible resources? For example, air, water, soil, sunlight. These are examples for renewable or inexhaustible resources because their availability is more and they are going to be replenished in nature. One simple example to understand: water. See, freshwater sources, that means the water which is present in freshwater sources like river, then tanks, wells, underground water, it will be used for many activities. But even after its use, it is going to be again filled again. That means it is going to be filled again. For example, reservoir, KRS dam if you take. So during rainy season, it will be get filled up and it will be used for different activities, for drinking purpose, for agricultural purpose, then for industrial purpose, it will be used. But after its use, again it is going to be replenished. Once we get rainy season again, that reservoir is going to be filled. So freshwater resources which are found in nature, they are again, that means they are replenished again and again. So such resources they are called as renewable or inexhaustible. Similarly, there are some resources which are non-renewable. Non-renewable, or they are also called as exhaustible resources. That means resources which are present in limited quantity and once they are used, they are going to be get exhausted. For example, minerals. Simple example is in Karnataka itself, KGF, not the film KGF, Kolar Goldfields. It is a place in Karnataka, Kolar. Okay, so KGF. So there gold was mined. So for 100 years, that is, gold was mined in that place. But recently, that mining company, it has been closed. BGML, Bharat Gold Mines Limited. It has been closed. Why it has been closed? Because of the not availability of gold in that particular place. So minerals, that is, once they are used, they are going to be get exhausted. Similarly, fossil fuels. So which are the examples for fossil fuels? Coal, petroleum and natural gas. They are called as fossil fuels. So once they are used, that is, they are going to be get exhausted. So their availability is limited in nature. So such resources they are called as non-renewable resources. So this chapter we are going to discuss in detail about one important non-renewable resource, that is coal and petroleum. Coal, petroleum and natural gas, together known as fossil fuels. So why they are called as fossil fuels? So you must know the meaning of fossils. What is a fossil? Fossil is a dead remaining of plant or animal that lived in remote past. Okay, if a plant or animal, if it remains, is found in nature and that has been lived very long back, then such remainings they are known as fossils. So dead remainings of plants and animals that lived in remote past, it is known as fossils. I think all of you have seen a film called Jurassic Park. So in Jurassic Park, you have seen an animal which is called as dinosaur. Do you find dinosaurs now like tiger, lion, elephant? No, it is not there. So it has been extincted. So when actually dinosaurs lived very long back, Jurassic age anta ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. So that is how scientists they came to know about the existence of dinosaurs in that period, Jurassic period, that is almost 100 million years back. That is based on the availability of fossils. Okay, so fossils of dinosaurs have been found, and based on that, that is, it is possible to know the exact age or time in which they actually lived. So there is a process called carbon dating. So with the help of carbon dating, it is possible to know the age of the fossil. So with the help of that, is scientists they have said that dinosaurs they lived almost 100 million years back. Okay, so today we have seen those animals in films. Okay, so like that, with the help of fossils, it is possible to understand the chronological order of plants and animals, evolution of life. Okay, so evolution of life is nothing but gradual formation of new organisms from old organisms. Gradual formation of, that is, complex organisms from simple organisms. That process is called as evolution. We say that for example, if you take animals into consideration, invertebrates they came first. Animals without backbone like cockroach, snail, starfish, they came into existence first. Then from those, vertebrates came into existence, that is fishes, amphibians, then reptiles, birds, and finally mammals. How actually we can give this order for the animal kingdom? That is based on availability of fossils. Actually fossils they helps to understand about the evolution of life also. They play a very important role in giving evidences, and by relating those evidences one can say that is what type of life form came into existence earlier and what type of life form came into existence later. So that is the importance of fossil. So here we are saying fossil fuels. So fuels which are formed from dead remains of plants and animals, they are called as fossil fuels. What is a fuel? Fuel is a substance which on combustion produces energy in the form of heat and light. For example, wood is a fuel. So how we can say wood is a fuel? Because when wood is burnt, it produces energy in the form of heat and light. Petrol is a fuel, kerosene is a fuel, diesel is a fuel. So fuels are substances which on burning produces energy in the form of heat and light. All fuels are not called fossil fuels. So which are the fuels that are called as fossil fuels? Coal, petroleum, and natural gas. They are called as fossil fuels because these fuels they have been formed from dead remains of plants and animals. So dead remains of plants and animals, they are called as fossils. So coal, petroleum, natural gas, that is they are used as fuels and they are formed from dead remains of plants and animals. That's why they are called as fossil fuels. So fossil fuels, they are inexhaustible natural resources. Why they are called inexhaustible natural resources? Because once they are used, they cannot be replaced in nature very quickly. That means they are going to be get exhausted. See, scientists they have estimated that if we go on using coal and petroleum that is what we are using now, in another 50 or 100 years, they are going to be get exhausted. That means for future generations, there is no availability of coal and petroleum. Okay, that's why non-renewable resources, they must be used judiciously so that our future generations, they can use, that is, such resources. So today, without coal and petroleum, you cannot imagine life. See, in India, okay, we are capable of living, that is, without electricity. But think of, that is, developed countries like America or France or Canada. If there is no electricity, they cannot live, people cannot live, life becomes standstill. So most of the electricity, it has been produced from coal only. So just imagine what would actually happens if there is no availability of coal and petroleum. So today comfortable life what we are living, that is because of the usage of coal and petroleum for different purposes. And scientists, they have predicted that the rate in which we are using these resources, definitely in future, that is in 50 to 100 years, they are going to be get exhausted. So that's why it is very important to use these resources very judiciously. So here we are going to discuss in detail about coal, petroleum and natural gas. So now only I said they are called as fossil fuels. Okay. So why they are called fossil fuels? Because they have been formed from dead remains of plants and animals. So first let us take, that is, coal. I think many of you have seen coal. Kannadadalli kalliddalu anta karitare. Coal is nothing but kalliddalu. Okay, I think you might have heard about steam engine, rail. So earlier, that is, steam engines, they were used to run by using coal. So coal is the main fuel that was used for running railway engines. Okay. Similarly, in industries also, coal is one of the important fuel. So how it looks? It looks like a black material, black hard material, just like stone. Okay. Some of you have seen, that is, coal. There is one more term called charcoal. So what is the difference between coal and charcoal? Charcoal is iddilu. When you burn wooden log, whatever the black material you get, that is called as charcoal. So this is coal. It is also black in color, but it is very hard, like a stone, and it is mainly used as fuel. So how coal has been formed? I think you might have heard about coal mines. So in India also, in different states, we have coal mines. So coal, it is actually mined from the earth's crust. So inside the earth's crust, how coal has been formed? See, coal, it has been formed by dead vegetation, that is, plants. So almost 300 million years back, that is, forests which are present in low-lying wetlands, due to some natural processes like flooding, they are submerged under soil, and as more layer of soil, when it covered the dead vegetation, that is, temperature increases, pressure also increases. So due to increase in temperature and pressure by the layers of soil for thousands of years, carbon present in plants, it has been get changed into coal. See, that process of conversion of carbon into coal, it is called as carbonization of coal. Okay. So what is carbonization of coal? Carbonization of coal is nothing but the process of conversion of carbon content present in vegetation due to high temperature and pressure into coal. It is known as carbonization of coal. So during coal mining, the percentage of carbon in coal varies. So depending on that, we have four varieties of coal. One is called peat, then lignite, then we have bituminous, and anthracite. These are the four varieties of coal. So in peat coal, percentage of carbon is 60. This is percentage of carbon. 60% of carbon will be present. Similarly, if you take lignite, 70% of carbon content will be there. So if you take bituminous coal, 80% of carbon content will be there. So if you take anthracite, it contains 90% of carbon content. So among four types of coal, which is the purest form of coal? The purest form of coal is anthracite, which contains less impurities. So when anthracite is burnt, it does not produce much ash. So it burns with blue flame and does not produce much ash. By that we can say impurities present in anthracite is less and it is the pure form of coal. Okay. So the process of carbonization, it is not same for all vegetative matter. In some places carbonization, it has been only up to 60%. In some places carbonization, it is up to 70%. In some places it is 80%. And in some places it will be 90%. So that slow process of conversion of carbon content into coal due to high temperature and pressure, it is known as carbonization of coal. And as I said, coal is a very important material that is used for different purposes. One of the important use of coal is fuel. So coal is mainly used as fuel. As I said earlier, coal, it was used for running railway engines. Now it has been replaced by diesel, and some trains they run by electricity also. But most of the trains, that is railway engines, now they run by diesel, not by coal. So that time has gone now. Okay. So, but generally fuel. Similarly, it is used as a fuel in industries. Okay. So in industries, to prepare number of required materials, coal is one of the important, that is fuel that is required. Similarly, it is used for generating electricity. I think you might have heard about thermal power stations. In Karnataka, there is one thermal power station which is known as RTPC, Raichur Thermal Power Corporation. So there coal is burnt to produce electricity. See, when coal is burnt, lot of heat energy will be produced, and that heat energy will be used for converting water into steam, and that steam will be used to rotate turbines, and when that turbine is connected to a generator, it produces electricity. So nearly 80% of Karnataka, that is electricity what actually getting, it is by coal only, thermal power plants. They are responsible for producing, that is electricity, not only in Karnataka, throughout the world. That is why we say it is a very important, that is natural resource. That is one use. Similarly, another important use of coal. See, when coal, when it is burnt in air, chemical reaction takes place. Coal is carbon. When it is burnt in air means combines with oxygen and it forms carbon dioxide and it produces energy in the form of heat. Suppose in the absence of coal, when it is heated, what happens? If there is no availability of oxygen, what happens? See, in the absence of air, when coal is heated to 1000 degrees Celsius, in the absence of oxygen or air, coal, it decomposes into three fractions. First one is gaseous fraction, which is called as coal gas. Second one is liquid fraction, which is called as coal tar. And third fraction, which is a solid fraction and which is known as coke. So when coal is heated in the absence of oxygen to a temperature of 1000 degrees Celsius, it decomposes to give three fractions: coal gas, coal tar and coke. And this process, it is called as destructive distillation. Very, very important. Destructive distillation. So what is destructive distillation? Destructive distillation is nothing but heating coal to a higher temperature in the absence of oxygen, and as a result we get three fractions: coal gas, coal tar and coke. And all these fractions, they are very useful to us. See, when coal is directly used as fuel, we don't get these fractions. But when coal is heated to high temperature in the absence of oxygen, we get three fractions, and they can be used as, that is, fuels and for preparing other raw materials. See, the first fraction, it is coal gas, which is a gaseous fraction. And coal gas, it is mainly used as fuel in industries as well as for domestic purposes. Similarly, the liquid fraction obtained, it is called as coal tar. Very important. So liquid fraction which is obtained is called as coal tar. When coal tar is subjected to fractional distillation, when coal tar is subjected to fractional distillation. What is fractional distillation? Fractional distillation, it is a process of separating the components which are having different boiling points. See, coal tar merely contains 200 important chemicals which can be used as the starting materials for preparing number of useful products. See, most of the products that we are using in our day-to-day life, they are actually obtained from coal tar only. That is fertilizers, pesticides, insecticides, cosmetics, soaps, detergents, explosives. All these are prepared from the materials which are obtained from coal tar. See, directly coal tar is useless, but when coal tar is subjected to fractional distillation, we get nearly 200 different compounds, and each one of them can be used as the starting material for the preparation of many useful products that we are using in our day-to-day life. So that is the importance of coal tar. And similarly, coke, it is the solid fraction which is obtained during destructive distillation of, that is, coal. So coke, it is mainly used as fuel in industries. So coke is solid substance which is mainly used as fuel in industries. And in addition to that, it is also used for obtaining metals from ores. So coal, that is coke, it is mainly used as reducing agent. So reducing agent in metallurgical operations. For example, iron metal. Do we get iron metal in the earth's crust? No. Iron metal is found in the form of combined state. Iron ores, magnetite, hematite, limonite, they are the iron ores which are found in earth's crust. How we can get the iron that is required? Iron is called king of metals, okay, which is required for that is industries. How we can get iron metal in pure state? That is from ores only. So hematite, Fe2O3 composition. So we have to remove oxygen. Substance which removes oxygen, it is called as reducing agent, and coke is one such reducing agent which is used in metallurgy. Metallurgy means the process of extracting a metal from its ore. Okay. So that is another importance of coke. And apart from that, coke can also be used as the raw material for preparation of number of other useful substances. Okay. So when coal is subjected to destructive distillation, we get three important fractions, and all of them are very useful to us. So that is what you have to remember related to, that is coal. Similarly, the second important fossil fuel, it is called petroleum. So why the term petroleum is given? Petra means rock, oleum means oil. So what is the literary meaning of petroleum? Rock oil. Okay. So petroleum is rock oil. So how coal has been formed? Coal has been formed by the dead vegetation. Okay. And similarly, petroleum, it has been formed from marine organisms. So what are marine organisms? Organisms which live in sea. Okay, sea organisms, they are called as marine organisms. Microscopic marine organisms. Microscopic plants are called phytoplanktons. Microscopic animals are called zooplanktons. So when microscopic plants and animals, when they die, their bodies, it sinks to the bottom of the ocean, oceanic crust, and the bodies of those plants and animals, it will be covered by mud, and due to absence of oxygen and high temperature and pressure, the fat content which is present in those microscopic organisms will be get converted into petroleum. So petroleum, it has been formed by the decomposition of marine organisms, and once that petroleum has been formed, it moves through the cracks and crevices. Wherever it finds cracks and crevices, it moves, and once it finds a place where it cannot move. See, normally that happens at a place where two impervious rocks are present. Porous rocks, non-porous rocks. So impervious rocks are nothing but non-porous. So petroleum will be moving and it will be trapped at a place where two non-porous rocks are present. See, such a place where petroleum is present between two impervious rocks, it is called as oil trap. It is called as oil trap. I think you know about Gulf countries. So today, where actually world's maximum production of petroleum, it happens, that is in Gulf countries. Kuwait, Dubai, Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, these places you have heard. See, they are the places where actually petroleum is found. So petroleum actually it was formed in ocean and it moves inside the earth's crust through the crevices of rocks, and wherever it finds two impervious rocks, it will be trapped there, which is known as oil trap, and many such oil traps are found in Gulf countries. And those oil traps will be surveyed, geological survey will be done to find out the oil traps, just like that is finding water inside the earth. Alva? ಈಗ ಕೆಲವು ಕಡೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಮನೆಗಳು ಅಥವಾ ಹೊಲಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬೋರ್ವೆಲ್ ಹಾಕಿಸ್ತೀವಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಆ ಬೋರ್ವೆಲ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಂದ್ರಲ್ಲೇ ಹಾಕಿಸ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವ? ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಆ ಬೋರ್ವೆಲ್ ಹಾಕೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂಚೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಸರ್ವೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಒಂದು ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ನೀರಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ವಾ, ಆ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಬೋರ್ವೆಲ್ ಹಾಕ್ತೀವಿ. ಅದೇ ಥರ So a survey will be conducted, larger survey based on many features, and they will give a report at what place you can expect the presence of oil traps, and once they will come to conclusion that definitely they are going to get some petroleum in a particular place, that is going to be drilled. Just like that is bore well, an oil well will be located, and from that oil well they will be getting, that is the required petroleum. Okay. So once that petroleum is obtained, petroleum, other name is crude oil. Petroleum is also known as crude oil. So petroleum in its virginal form, it cannot be used for anything. Crude oil in its virginal form. So once it is obtained from a oil well, it cannot be used for any purpose directly, because it will be associated with many impurities and it contains many fractions. So what actually they are going to do? They are going to do a process called refining of petroleum. So what is refining of petroleum? Refining of petroleum is nothing but the process of purification of petroleum. Okay. Once purification of petroleum, once it completes, then they are going to subject that petroleum into fractional distillation. And during fractional distillation, we get different components which are having different boiling point ranges, and those components can be used for different purposes. Say for example, when fractional, that means petroleum is subjected to fractional distillation. Fractional distillation, it is carried out in a fractionating tower. Like this it will be. So this is known as fractionating column. And in that fractionating column, you will find different compartments. Okay. So petroleum will be heated to a temperature of 400 degrees Celsius, and liquid petroleum changes into gaseous state. So vapors of petroleum, they are sent into fractionating tower. As the vapors rises up, they starts condensing. Condensation of vapors takes place. And during condensation of vapors, we get different fractions of petroleum. So fraction of petroleum which is having higher boiling point range, it condenses first and it will be get collected at the lower compartment. And similarly, fraction of petroleum which is having higher boil, that is lower boiling point, it will be get collected at the compartment which is kept at the greater heights. So which are the important fractions of petroleum that are obtained when petroleum is subjected to, that is fractional distillation? One is called petroleum gas. So petroleum gas, and boiling point range is 40 degrees Celsius, below 40 degrees Celsius. So it will be obtained in gaseous form, and it is mainly used as domestic fuel. And similarly, the second fraction which is obtained, it is called as petrol fraction, and boiling point range is 40 to 150 degrees Celsius. Petrol, you know, it is used as automobile fuel. So for lighter vehicles, 2-wheelers, 3-wheelers, 4-wheelers, petrol is used as fuel. And then next we get, that is kerosene. So the boiling point range is 150 degrees Celsius to 250 degrees Celsius, and kerosene, it is mainly used as domestic fuel and also jet rocket fuel. So kerosene domestic fuel ಆಗಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, and it is also one of the fuel that is used for launching jet rockets. So that is another fraction. Similarly, the next fraction it is called diesel fraction, and boiling point ranges 250 to 350 degrees Celsius, and diesel it is also mainly used as automobile fuel. And the fifth fraction is called fuel oil, 350 degrees Celsius to 400, and which is mainly used as fuels in ships. So in ships, fuel oil is the fuel that is used. And then the last fraction it is called residual oil. Residual oil, its boiling point ranges above 400 degrees Celsius. It will not vaporize and it will be collected at the bottom, and that residual oil again it will be subjected to fractional distillation to get number of important chemicals that can be used as the starting materials for, that is, many useful substances. See, this is how, that is, fractional distillation of petroleum will be done, and as a result we get, that is, different fuels. So very important is, for example, India, it imports petroleum from Gulf countries. Crude oil will be sent to India through pipelines or through ships. Say for example, Mangalore. So crude oil reaches Mangalore and there refining of petroleum will be done. Petroleum refineries will be located in Mangalore. So from Mangalore to different parts of our Karnataka, that petrol or diesel or kerosene it will be sent. See, that is how petroleum can be used for different purposes. So different components which are present in petroleum, they can be obtained by fractional distillation and they can be used for different purposes. So this is one point I have to remember. And then another important fossil fuel, it is called natural gas. See, petroleum is always associated with some amount of natural gas. See, sometimes when mining is done, so normally scientists they predict petroleum will be present there, but sometimes it may go wrong and instead of petroleum they may get only natural gas. So gaseous fraction is always present above petroleum, and this natural gas it can also be used as fuel. Okay, and today you know that natural gas it mainly contains methane. So methane is the component of natural gas which can be used as automobile fuel as well as domestic fuel. Okay, so this natural gas nowadays it is mainly used in the form of CNG, that is compressed natural gas, CNG. So CNG is a better fuel compared to petrol and diesel. So why it is a better fuel compared to petrol and diesel? Because when CNG is burnt, it does not produce much pollution. See, most of the pollution, air pollution that has happened throughout the world, it is mainly because of burning, that is fossil fuels. Coal, petroleum and natural gas, when they are burnt, they are responsible for causing air pollution. Especially in India, some cities, that is air has been polluted to maximum extent. Especially if you take Delhi. So during winter, the pollution level of Delhi deteriorates like anything. So why that happens? Mainly because of using, that is petroleum, that is fossil fuels more and more. In recent decades, the usage of fossil fuels has gone like anything, and as a result, that is many cities they are facing serious, that is air pollution. Okay, so how actually pollution can be reduced? So one important alternative is, instead of using petrol or diesel, we can go for CNG, which is a better fuel. So when CNG is burnt, it does not produce much smoke. It is a clean fuel. CNG is a clean fuel. That means its calorific value is high and in addition to that it causes less pollution. And one more thing, since natural gas it is in gaseous form, it can be supplied through pipelines. For example, in Karnataka itself, some districts, especially if you take Tumkur. So in Tumkur, some parts, some areas, they are actually getting gas through pipelines. So there normally natural gas will be used. And similarly, natural gas can also be used as the starting material to prepare many important, that is, chemicals. One such important chemical is carbon black. Carbon black or lamp soot. So carbon black or lamp soot, that is mainly used in the vulcanization of rubber. Hard rubber tires, they are prepared, they require carbon black or lamp soot. How lamp soot or carbon black can be produced in large quantities, that is starting from natural gas. Similarly, kajal. So that is also prepared, that is starting from, that is natural gas. And one more important chemical which is called as formaldehyde, formalin. So formalin solution you might have seen. So specimens, biological specimens, they are preserved in a liquid and that liquid is called formalin. So that formalin, it is actually prepared starting from, that is, natural gas. So these are some points related to fossil fuels, coal, petroleum and natural gas. Then very important is, as I said, using coal, petroleum and natural gas as fuel, it is responsible for causing 90% of air pollution. So 90% of air pollution, it is mainly caused by burning coal, petroleum and natural gas. How actually we can reduce the air pollution that can be caused by burning fossil fuels? We have to go for, that is, alternating that is resources. Instead of fossil fuels, we can go for solar energy, we can go for, that is, wind energy, we can go for tidal energy, especially solar energy. So nowadays solar energy is used to maximum extent, and similarly thermal power stations, thermal power plants, their coal is used. Nowadays instead of thermal power plants, electricity it has been generated by nuclear energy, nuclear power plants. Okay, in Karnataka there is one nuclear power plant near Karwar. Okay, so from nuclear power plants, there are different nuclear power plants. They are situated in different parts of the India. So one is in, that is, Karnataka, that is in Karwar district. So there electricity is generated from radioactive substances, uranium. So that can be one alternative to generating electricity instead of using coal. So solar energy can be used for generating electricity, wind energy can be used for generating electricity. Like that we have to look for alternate source of energy, especially for generating electricity, so that we can minimize the use of coal. And similarly, petrol, diesel, they are mainly used as automobile fuels. So today we know that vehicle population is increasing day by day, just like human population. So how actually we can reduce the pollution caused by vehicles? See, unnecessary, we should not switch on engine. Normally what we do, suppose if we are stopping at traffic signal or at home, even that is it is not required, we go on giving acceleration, accelerator. Okay, so as a result engine runs and fuel will be burnt, and so as a result there will be pollution. So we have to avoid, that is, unnecessary, that is, usage of running the engine at traffic lights or wherever it is not necessary. And similarly, we have to maintain the vehicle. Vehicle maintenance must be done. So engine maintenance must be done. Otherwise, it causes more pollution. Okay. So similarly, tire pressure. Tire pressure is another important aspect. If tire pressure is not correct, then it can consume more fuel and which can lead to more pollution. Okay. So these are some simple techniques which can be used where we can prevent the pollution caused by especially burning fossil fuels. So these are all the important points related to coal and petroleum you have to remember, and based on these points you can expect competitive examination questions. We will discuss the questions related to coal and petroleum, few important questions related to this chapter. Thank you.